first thing I order when I go to a Chinese restaurant is the steamed dumplings. I love them, particularly the prawn dumplings, and that's what I'm going to be making for you today. First, we need to start doing a little bit of chopping, and I'm going to allow my food processor to do most of the work. You can use any Asian green you like, some bok choy or some cabbage, and you only need a small amount of it. The stems are really crunchy, and it's going to give our dumplings a really nice texture in the center. So in with that first. I'll also add the shiitake mushrooms. Drain them off, squeeze the excess water out, just like I'm doing, and they've got a really, really lovely, earthy, meaty flavour. I won't chop them, I'll let the machine do all the work. I'll also add a little bit of ginger. Ginger is a fantastic flavour to either add to the dipping sauce or to the dumpling mixture. So I'll just grate the ginger because I want it really, really fine. Great, that can go in. Now I'll just blitz this until it's finely chopped. Oh, absolutely perfect. Finely chopped, exactly the way it should be. Now we can add the prawns. These are just raw prawns that I've topped and tailed and I've deveined too. So a nice big handful of them can go in. You don't need to chop them at all. And I'll also add a little bit of egg. This is the binding agent for this. Just in a bowl, break the egg and then just gently whisk it. Now I won't add all of this egg, I'll just add half of it. The whole egg will be too much and it'll make a wet paste, so we just want half of that. And now I can add some seasoning, so a little bit of sugar. When you're making dumplings, always remember this, it's always about balancing the sweetness against the saltiness. So first some sugar, in with the prawn, that's going to accentuate the sweetness of the prawns. I love the addition of some soy sauce for the saltiness, so that's going to season it, and sesame oil, a few drops of sesame oil, about 4 or 5. And that's it. Now the lid can go on, and I'll blitz this again until it's a sticky paste. All right, now we can start making our dumplings. Now I'm using some egg wonton wrappers here, the square ones. I've covered it with a little bit of damp paper toweling. This is a really great idea so they don't dry out, which means they'll be really pliable when we're working with them. I like to start with 6 at a time, and again, the main reason is so they don't dry out too quickly. So we'll place 6 onto a clean surface. Now we need to make a little bit of a paste or glue to stick the wontons together. I like to use a little bit of corn flour and a little water. You can also use the leftover egg yolk if you like, and then I'll just mix that with the back of a fork just to make a paste, and that's the consistency that we're looking for. So the glue's ready to go, our mixture is ready to go. All we need to do is start assembling. So with a spoon, you only need about a teaspoon in the center of each dumpling. If you add too much of this prawn filling at the start, they're going to split when they're steamed. So just try to refrain from overfilling them. So I'll add a little bit more to each. It smells so good. I can smell the spring onions in this and the sesame oil and that delicious ginger. Yum. And now either use your fingers just to trace around the border of the wonton wrapper, or have a little pastry brush on standby and then brush around it. You don't want to be too heavy with this mixture of corn flour and water because it can be a little bit stodgy, so just a small amount. And then there are so many different ways of wrapping these wontons. I'm going to keep it super simple today, folding it over into a triangle and then cupping it between your 2 thumbs, pressing all the air out of the dumplings, squishing it together, and that's the first one. And once these are steamed, they're going to shrivel up a little bit. They'll be absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to continue the process with these dumplings. I'll place them on a tray, cover them with a damp tea towel, again, so they don't dry out, and then I'm going to show you how easy it is to steam them. Now I've made my batch of dumplings, they're ready to go, and I've placed them under a damp tea towel and they're going to stay nice and moist. You can do this ahead of time pop them in the fridge, and when you're ready to steam them, they're all ready to go. Now, I've got an all-in-one, so I'm going to place them in the steamer basket and then steam them. But if you don't have one, all you need to do is just place a pot of water onto a boil so it's simmering, and then place a steamer basket on top. So it's as easy as that. Do them in batches. I'll start with about 6 or 7. Pop the lid on. Now I've already placed some water in the bowl of my machine, and then we'll place the steamer basket on top. Now I'll just program it to steam, and then this will take about 15 to 20 minutes. Keep an eye on them. You'll know they're cooked when it starts to shrivel up. While they're cooking, I'll get onto a really quick dipping sauce. I love the combination of black vinegar, soy sauce, and a little bit of fresh chili. Okay, the dumplings are ready. Let's have a look at them. Be careful with the steam. Whenever you're steaming, always remember, don't open the lid towards you. So always away from you. And then look at them. How great do they look? Exactly like you would get at the restaurants. But you know what? When you make them at home, they're so fresh. You can add whatever ingredients you like to the center of them. And I think they just look fantastic. Now I'm just placing it onto this lovely black plate. I've placed my vinegar dressing with the chili on the side, and just allow that to marinate for just a few minutes while the dumplings cook. And then pile them up. All right, I'm gonna try these. There's only one way to eat them, with your chopsticks, and dunk it in that vinegary chili soy sauce, and then eat them while they're still warm. Absolutely perfect.